What's going on, people? Welcome back to the John Sinclair TV. Back again. I've got Julie from Florida. Julie from Florida. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's not too bad having to carry on with your cameras earlier on, but it's all been sorted out and absolutely fantastic. Thank you for coming on, Julie. And Julie, can you tell the viewers back at home where you're from in Florida, where you're originally from, and also what made you become a Newcastle fan?
Well, I'm originally from Cramlington. Husband also from Cramlington. We moved over here in 1999, so been here around 24 years now. Came over for work. He was offered a job over here, and we decided to go for it, see what was like life was like on the other side of the pond, and we're still here. Kids were born and raised here. They're Newcastle fans too, because we didn't give them any choice on that one. So you know how that works, right? So yeah, we've always been Newcastle United fans. We were season ticket holders, and we kept the season tickets for a couple of years after we moved over here. But eventually, you know, we gave them up because we knew we were going to stay over here. So now we have trouble trying to get a ticket to go to the game, but that's okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it later on as well.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people back here. It's a lot. I was going to do another content about it on the Twitter Reacts, but it's just not to be done for another day. Yeah, so end of the day, I mean, you love in the United States life, and I tell you what, and it's been fantastic. And also, so I've got a major announcements to announce later on at a later date, maybe a couple of years' time. It's great for me channel as well. Keep your eyes peeled for that one. So, Summer series with Newcastle United. How many games did you go? Did you go to all the games, or did you just?
Yeah, we did. We went to all of them. Yep. Everyone was very different, but enjoyable in different ways. But yeah, if we had lived in Maryland still, we lived in Maryland for 20 years, and then recently we relocated to Florida. So we decided that we would drive up to Maryland and see friends, and then carry on to the Philly game. So that was like an 18-hour drive on the way up. And then we went to that game. We stayed over. Then we flew from Maryland to Atlanta, and then back to Maryland again. And then we drove to New Jersey and watched the last game there. And then we drove back to Florida on Saturday. So a whirlwind trip for sure, but it was a really good week.
Fantastic stuff. And yeah, and on to the game itself for the summer series. We took on Aston Villa. We took on Chelsea, and we took on Brighton. And the games we played, I mean, look, 2 draws and a win. And what's your impression on the Newcastle friendlies in America?
It was fantastic. Very different to watching a game back at home, obviously, for lots of different reasons. But for us, just being able to see the team play, you know, anytime we can get to watch them, we will. So that's why we decided just to go for it and go to all the games. But very different experience in all 3 locations, but really enjoyable. And it was just great to get to see it, especially like the new players. I didn't expect to see Bonds come on that first game. He had only just arrived, but talking to Shea Given before the game, and he said that he didn't think he would play, probably just be on the bench because he hadn't even trained with the team yet. But we were lucky enough to get him see his first touches on the ball in the Aston Villa game, so that was really good.
Cool stuff. And the thing is as well, I mean, when Newcastle announced we were going to go to America, I mean, if you look at it now, we've been to, obviously in America, Philly, Atlanta, New Jersey, and how big are Newcastle United are now in America? We're a huge club, Julie. We're a massive club. How big are we? Are we on levels to say Man United or Arsenal or not? It'd be nice though. But at the end of the day, we can go to America.
I'm not sure quite there yet in terms of like overseas, you know, like everybody over here is a Man United fan or a Chelsea fan, or, you know, Leicester won the league several years ago and everybody bought a Leicester shirt. So it's a bit different. A lot of the fans at the games were Geordies who now live in America, or there were people who were on holiday like in Orlando and then flew to the games from there. So there were Americans there, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people have been watching them, and there was a couple at the last game in New Jersey. They had just started watching Premier League at the end of the season because the little boy really liked it. So they had adopted Newcastle as a team didn't have any idea what was going on really. But and then I think once the Amazon series comes out too, I think a lot more people, will watch it. Kind of like how the other series, people watch the Wrexham game and all that kind of stuff, and then now people follow Wrexham who never even heard of them before. I think it might be a little bit of that too once that comes out. Excited to see that because we know how it ends too, right?
Yeah, man.
I don't have to be too nervous watching that one. But yeah, I mean, especially Atlanta, there was so many people supporting Newcastle just because of Miggy as well. Didn't necessarily have a Newcastle shirt on, but the Atlanta fans bought up all the home end tickets, so that was a little bit different, that one, to the other two locations. But yeah, a lot of people just seem to really enjoy watching Newcastle, the style of football that we're playing, and everything that you see about the team. There was a lot of stuff posted when they were over here last week. Just a really strong camaraderie between the lads on the team, and it just seemed like they were having a lot of fun. And everybody here seemed to feed off that as well,
Yeah. You just touched on Miggy there, Julie. I mean, he is a legend at Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? The fans love him for what he's done over there for a couple of years, winning the title as well. We got a chief exec Dan Eels as well, used to be with them as well. And the moment he scored that goal, for me, I thought it was emotional because if Miggy's going to come back and score like that, let's be real, he's going to be remembered. Miggy's going to be remembered by Atlanta fans. And you know what? The stadium over there is fantastic. It's beautiful. I've never been there, but it looks outstanding. And it was like a home game for us.
Yeah, the stadium is absolutely incredible. I hope our owners took a good look around and tried to pinch a few ideas. It was just, I mean, I've been to some big stadiums before, but just the way everything was, like, the thought that had gone into the way it was laid out. You could go to the bar and get a drink, and they had balconies at the bar, like overlooking the pitch, so you could just stand there and have your drinks or have something to eat and still watch the game. And just an incredible stadium. The only downside maybe was the big screen that was like inside the roof. Sometimes it was hard not to watch that and to remember that you're supposed to be looking at the field because you could see everything. But incredible. And there was a thing on, I think it was the Chronicle, posted a story the next day that the fans were booing and Eddie Howe didn't know why when they had the water breaks, but it really wasn't that. Everybody was just booing them stopping the game, really, because it was an air-conditioned stadium and it kind of seemed like they really didn't need to stop the game because it wasn't hot inside. But yeah, like a magnificent stadium, and the Atlanta fans, everybody was cheering for Miggy. And I had just said to my husband before Almiron scored, I said, I wonder if he'll play the whole game or at least until he scores. And he scored.
Yeah.
And then they took him off anyway. But I literally had goosebumps. It was just like, you couldn't have scripted it any better than that. It was pretty perfect.
It's written in the stars. Written in the stars.
I think even the Chelsea fans in front of us were cheering.
Hey!
So it was just like a really nice moment. It was good for him. Yeah,
absolutely. I want to touch on as well the young guns as well. Play for Newcastle. You got Lewis Marley, you got Elliot Anderson, you got Remy Steele, you got Parkinson, I think it is. I could be wrong. And you got Ashby played as well. He could be on his way to Swansea City, apparently. But I want to talk about Lewis Marley and Elliot Anderson. I mean, first of all, Lewis Marley, what's his ceiling? He's 17 years of age, 6'2". What is the ceiling? How far could this lad go?
He just did not look out of place at all, which is strange considering he's only 17. Like when I first saw him, I guess the end of last season, right? Just tall, lanky kid. But he came on there at these games over here and he just did not look out of place at all. Looked big and strong. Yeah, everybody seemed to really like him. Elliot Anderson obviously was phenomenal. I think probably Gordon was probably a standout for me earlier on, and then obviously switched to Anderson at the end. Those 2 goals he scored on Friday night, crowd was going crazy, and that was the smallest crowd of the week. But yeah, just the heat at that game was incredible. I don't think I've ever been this hot in my life. We were tailgating beforehand for probably like 3 or 4 hours or whatever, and then went into the game, and that was definitely the hottest it had been all week. And how he managed to do that, like right at the end, and still have the legs and the lung capacity to do that in that heat. I'm not quite sure how he did it, but very thankful that he did.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, you touched on Elliot there. I think a lot of people saying here that he could be starting against Aston Villa. And for me personally, I think he should. But the midfield's tough. It's really tough in the midfield. You've got Elliot there, Bruno, Joe Linton, Joe Willock, yeah, Sean Longstaff, Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, Jacob Murphy, right? And Miguel Almiron. I mean, we're going to play three midfields. That is the thing. I mean, Eddie Howe's got a problem there. He has got. He gets paid to pick the team. He gets paid to do the job. And you know what? I think it's great to have competition.
Great problem to have, isn't it? Especially compared to prior years. You know, every time we would get upset when the window opened, they'll be like, "Oh, here we go again. We're not going to buy anybody." And look at we now. It might not be finished yet either, but nice problem to have. And I'm not sure what Eddie Howe obviously went over there to do. Like, I'm sure we didn't necessarily go over there or come over here, I should say, to go out and win that trophy. He was trying a lot of things. Some shaky starts. I'm not sure I'd ever want to see Target and Dummett partnered up again on the same side. That was a little scary. But, there was a lot of things you got to try out last week. And like we both said, they're a really good problem to have. So I'm excited for the season to start. Be nice to get up early on a Saturday morning again and watch the games.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait for that. I mean, at least I'll be at the Cellar on Saturday for 2 days. I've got me ticket as well, so I'm buzzing for that as well. And I don't care if people are more than saying, it's too much money to this money. Yeah, but it's good for YouTuber like myself, you know what I mean? And I can't wait. We're touching on YouTubing, right? I mean, obviously, I'm a YouTuber, as you know. Have you met any YouTubers at all since being out, like Adam Pearson?
Yeah, I didn't meet Adam, but we did meet Matt from Black and White Bandana several times.
Great guy.
Really great guy. Really, really nice guy. We saw him at the first game. I have to try and remember where we were. Yeah, we saw him in Philly, got to him there, and then we were lucky enough to go to the fan event in the game before the Atlanta game, and we saw him at the brew house there. And then again on Friday. So yeah, we got to see him a lot. Like, really good guy. Made a lot of good videos and all that stuff. Did not get to sign his flag though, but I did see it.
Yeah, I tell you what, you got some good people there, like Matty, like Adam Pearson, Tyneside Life Eddie. You got Magpie Channel Matty as well, and Paul didn't go this time. Julie didn't go this time, and Newcastle Fans TV Lee being there as well with the crew as well. It'll be my turn next year, hopefully. But you know what? Keep your eyes peeled for those guys. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right? I mean, if you look at the new signings we made, Sandro Tonali, £52 million. I mean, if you look at the first game against Aston Villa, he got absolutely bodied by Buendia. And people are saying that he's not going to make the Premier League. But I'll tell you something now, right? Look at Joe Linton a couple of years ago. The same exact said about him. Look at tonight. Sandro Tonali, I watch Serie A football. This guy is going to go all the way. This guy is fantastic. I love him. I think he's a great player. And he will be great. He needs time in the Premier League.
Yeah, and he needs time just to learn Eddie Howe's way and all that stuff too. I mean, he literally just been transplanted into another country, and everybody keeps saying he looks really miserable and all that. I think that's just how he is, to be honest. But he probably enjoyed the American weather better than the Newcastle weather, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he hasn't even really had a chance to, work with the team properly before they came over here anyway. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure how it'll work with him and Bruno, or I heard a few people talking about that after the first game, either when communicating or whatever. But I mean, first game, right? That's what we do these things for pre-season, of work all that stuff out. So, you could have said the same about Anthony Gordon when he came. You move and you have to learn another manager's way of doing everything. And he said it himself. Took him a while to figure out exactly what Eddie Howe wanted out of him. But look at him now. So give him time. Hopefully, everybody will settle in. And same as Harvey Barnes. I mean, he just literally come off the plane and they threw him on the field.
Yeah.
So did not look out of place, man. Looked really promising. Yes. So yeah, looking forward to seeing more of him as well.
Yeah, 100%. We'll touch on Anthony Gordon in a bit. I mean, Bruno, you touched on Bruno as well. I mean, what a wonderful season. I spoke to Tim Vickery on the live show yesterday he came on. Do look out for that as well. The content's out there. He's South American football expert, Tim Vickery. What a fantastic guy. He said about Bruno Guimaraes as well. He gives him a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 as a player. He doesn't think he's world class. Is Bruno world class player or not yet?
Yeah, he's got the potential. I'm not sure he's quite world class yet, but I don't really care about the rest of the world. I care about what he's going to do for our team right now. So, you know, that's all. That's all that matters right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you think he's going to carry on like he left off last season, Bruno? Because I get a lot of people from my end, right? I mean, non-Newcastle fans saying that he could be found out, but I was asked the case. I hope Bruno, for Bruno, I think he should play further forward, not in the Hornan role. He should play forward, advance more. I think he'd be a fantastic player as well, doing it that way. We've got Joe Linton doing the job, Tonali doing the job as well. So I'd like to see Bruno going forward this coming season.
Great guy. I love his passion. You kind of felt that. And there's a lot of people not necessarily grumbling about him at the minute, but you know, he needs to just stop like throwing himself at people and just play his game again and settle down. You know, there's a lot of stuff I'm sure goes on in the background that we don't even hear. We just get the little snippets in the papers, and you know, this is happening with his contract and that. We don't know. It's just everybody's just guessing. So yeah, I'm sure he'll be fired up, ready for the season to start. We all know how excited he is about playing in the Champions League, and you know, his dreams have come true since he came to Newcastle. So in my dreams are pretty much coming true right now watching. So I'm not complaining right now. I'm sure a lot of other people aren't either.
Absolutely. And you know what it is, so I waited 20 years for us to get back in the Champions League. And I'll tell you what, you touched on that. Eddie Howe's done an unbelievable job. I mean, 18 months he's been in the club. This is his first full season. He comes in, right? And plain sailing. Champions League, here we come.
Plain sailing. I'm not sure I would agree with that, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the big test coming up now, though, right? I mean, this time last year, we all were hoping for maybe 10th or something, right? Top half the table. But yeah, very, very tough season and coming up. And I'm sure all eyes will be on us because everybody kind of knows what to expect now. We took a lot of people by surprise last season, and that's not going to happen this year. So excited, though, you know, no matter what happens. But yep.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, I'd take fifth or sixth next season for Newcastle United. I mean, for me, we need more players just to cope with demand in the Premier League as well. I want to talk about the ticket. I don't know if you saw social media today that Newcastle have announced that about the memberships well, and then the ticket price is going to be between £44 and £74 for members, but you don't get a seat as well. Do you think the ticketing is too expensive? Because I've seen Adam Pearson's clip the day, and he was very emotional the day, and he's basically saying that the month £74 for a ticket is too much. Now, people are kicking off on social media, right? But half of them just not read the facts. To me personally, I think it's a lot of money personally, and I think that's unfair. If you've been to the home games, 19 home games, right, and you pay £74 a time, something like $85, $90 at your end, that means you have paid £1,200 for £74.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
crazy.
It's a lot of money, obviously, but unfortunately, that's the price of success these days, isn't it? You got plenty of people who are quite happy to pay that and get a ticket of the game. I'm not even going to tell you what we paid to watch to come and watch Newcastle when we were home at Christmas. We did sign up for memberships. We signed up for the international memberships. Not sure if we're going to need them this year or not, but we figured we would just in case. So yeah, we would quite happily pay that to get a seat, and I'm sure a lot of other people would. But I get it. A lot of fans are getting priced out of going to watch the team that they love. But unfortunately, if you can't afford it, somebody else will quite happily take that seat off you.
Even for £74?
Yeah, you know they would.
Wow.
They would.
I paid £44 for a Carabao Cup final ticket. £44, right? And I paid £55 a pop for Champions League as well. So how could people justify £74 for a game? But I think, in my opinion, right, it's only my opinion, I think our owners have been wonderful, Julie. They've been fantastic. They've done a lot of good things. But in my opinion, and I looked at both sides of it, I think they need to rethink it. And for me, I think they will need to rethink it, because at the end of the day, I think they're not thought us through. I think it's excessive. I thought it was bad, poorly thought out, and also excessive as well. Poor, do you know what I mean? But I don't know what's your take on it, Julie? What's your take?
Yeah, like I say, I mean, it's a lot of people are getting priced out of it now and just won't be able to afford to go. But there's always people there waiting. They'll happily take that ticket off you because they can't afford to pay it. So
yeah, that's fair enough.
That's true.
That's fair enough. And as a fan, obviously in America, I'm a Newcastle fan. The way we do our transfer business, like everything does it quietly. Dan Ashworth does it quietly. We don't tell anyone at all. It comes from their end as well. They don't tell us what's going on. Do you think that's the way it should be? Do you think we should do our business quietly? Or do you think the club should tell us, no, we're not after that player. That's a load of rubbish.
It's hard to really say, because I've said it before, we don't always know the full story of everything. I mean, we've been literally linked with pretty much every player this year, right?
Kylian Mbappe.
Who are we not buying, right? So it's hard to know. It's hard to know a lot of the time, like what is really happening, who we really are truly after. So I don't, even if it's on the quiet, there's still going to be stories out there. You know what I mean? So it's hard to know sometimes what's actually truthful. I kind of don't believe it until I see it in black and white, literally. So too many rumors out there.
Far too many, far too much, and that's just shocking as well. But some of them just talk a lot of rubbish, you know what I mean? And some of the times I just have to laugh at it, you know what I mean? We've been linked to over 200 players we linked with, right? And we only bought in 2. It's as simple as that. And if they link to any Serie A best players, I could tell you right away. I mean, Calcio Mercato do not believe a word they say. They're 24-hour outlet, 24 hours and 24 hours, 7 days a week. Don't believe a thing they say. That's for another time. So I want to talk about to you about the Seller Cup, which is going to come up on Saturday and Sunday. I should be there, so please hit us up if you see us, guys. And basically, we've got to play Fiorentina, Villarreal. Well, Fiorentina on Saturday, Villarreal on Sunday, and I think it's a good tournament for Newcastle United to play with. I mean, game tickets.
Hoping we actually get to watch it over here. I'm not sure if it's televised over here or not, but hopefully, maybe on NUFC TV at the very least. But
sure will. Just check it out on the online, and then just and you find one for sure. And that's what we get the games in America, and I'm sure they will. And I think we need to get to Eddie that's going to play two teams. One for Saturday, one for Sunday, and then after that, we make a decision for the Villa game on Saturday. We're going to talk about that one in a bit. So I think it's a good tournament.
Yep. You excited to go?
I'm excited to go Saturday. I can't wait. As soon as the tickets came out, I mean, I'm flying up on Friday. So I'm flying up on Friday. It's only an hour's flight, which is great. And then I'm going to meet partners on Friday night, and then do the 2 games Saturday and Sunday. So the Sunday game, I mean, it kicks off 4:30, and my flight back's 9:45. So I need to get back to the airport, so I may not have time to interview fans. But you never know. You just never know. So I think it's a good experience as well. So we'll wait and see on that one as well. So where do you think Newcastle United will be finishing at the end of the season? You said in the top 10, didn't you?
No, that was last year. This year, I mean, I'd love to see top 6 again. I'd love it to be in the Champions League again.
Yeah.
I didn't have any expectations last year, but it's harder this year, isn't it? Because the success we had after last year, but knowing that this is going to be a tough one coming up, especially now having to fit all the Champions League games in. So yeah, I'd love to see top 6. Love to be even higher than that, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed. We're going for the title as well. Let's fight for the title, Julie. Let's fight for the title. Do you know what I mean? That's what we got to go for. And I think we've got the players to give it a real go. We don't give up. I mean, the fitness levels is fantastic. They never give up. and then we start slowly. But you know what? We always end the game well, like it's been proved against Brighton the other day.
Yep. That was such a great way to finish that game. Great way to finish the week, actually.
Absolutely. And you know what? We touched on Anthony Gordon. I forgot to talk about Anthony Gordon. This guy's been absolutely fantastic in pre-season. I mean, you never thought he's gone away. He looks fit, leaner, quicker. For me, he's going to be our key player of the season. I mean, what's your thoughts on Anthony Gordon?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see more of him. Honestly, I was not a fan of him at all when we bought him. I was kind of hoping he didn't come. More to do with his attitude and temperament than anything else. But love to see him prove me wrong. Hopefully, you know, I think the type of players that Eddie Howe brings in and values to like lead the team and control the dressing room and stuff is probably a really good environment for him to be in, and it seemed to show on the pitch last week and obviously over the summer and the Euros. He looked really good, looked really strong. Excited to see more of what he can do because he certainly looks hungry to play in the shirt, and that's exactly what we want, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's hungry. We've got to see young players come through as well. Anthony Gordon, Elliot Anderson, Lewis Marley, and even Jay Turner-Cook as well. If he does get a start, I think he'll be playing in the cup games this season for me. I think Eddie likes him, and the young players is coming through, and that is fantastic. They could save us millions, Julie. They could save us millions of pounds in future. Yeah,
it's really good to see. It's just the whole community feeling within the club and around the club at the minute as well. Like everybody wants everybody to do well, and that's been a long time coming.
Yeah. And one final question before we wrap up the show. And thank you so much for coming on, by the way. It's great to get an American side of things as well. And I've got to say this as well. Can we get Champions League again next season? Can you get a top 4, top 5 place next season? I have to ask that question.
I mean, obviously I'm going to say I hope so. Yeah, it's going to be really tough this year. But I mean, I really hope so. But we certainly got strength in the squad there that we didn't used to have. Last season, a lot of times we didn't have the depth on the bench, which was nerve-wracking, especially as the season progressed. That's a little worrying still. Especially, you know, I'm hoping that we don't not get rid of, but put the likes of Ashby out on loan.
Yeah,
because I think we're probably going to need him and others. But we were very thin on the ground towards the end of last season, and yeah, that's kind of a big issue for us. But hopefully, I know Eddie Howe keeps saying he's still got a couple of more players he wants to pick up, and of course we're still linked with everybody. But we'll see how that works out. But it will be great. I mean, it's just all around great for the club right now. Anyway. No matter what happens, right? We're the only ones who cheer when we get to go to Wembley, but we don't win anything, right? Sadly. But that hope has been that little fire of hope has been lit a little more recently, and it's just about time. It's really great to see, and long may it continue.
Fingers crossed on that. Yeah. Well, listen, Julie, thank you so much for coming on. And it's been an honor for you to come on for the American side. And first of all, I have to answer the question, did you enjoy coming on my show today?
Of course. Nice to speak to you. Yep. Thank you very much.
Finally, don't go away yet. I will do backstage quickly. And guys, thank you very much for watching the show as well. And if you like the video, like what you see, and Julie, could you just tell us where you can find you on your socials, please, so people can find you?
I'm on Facebook, Julie Oric Nicholson, and on Instagram, Jules in USA.
Yeah, fantastic. Just check that one out, guys, as well. And you know, she's fantastic. She loves to have a banter of Newcastle as well. And guys, if you like the video and like what you watch, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave your comments in the section down below, and give Julie some love as well. And as always,